Good evening, everybody. Welcome to GH Gospel Radio. We know we started late today, but hey, we made it and we're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. And this is your show, Let's Talk Marriage. Tonight's topic is pretty interesting. I'm going to take a few minutes to share the link. So I will be back with you in a second, so that we talk about tonight's topic. I hope you all had a good week and you are enjoying the new month of August. Yes, today's topic is about going through the marriage foundational checklist. We can also call it the marriage foundation checklist. And what are we trying to say here? We are trying to say that there are some things in marriage that you always have to keep going back to, that you always have to keep reminding yourself of. We all know that marriage is a long journey. It's till death. So if you're somebody who is not married yet, you may want to keep this checklist down so that whilst you're choosing a partner, you'll be reminding yourself of these things. Or even when you are preparing for marriage, you will remind yourself and learn some of these things so that when you get into marriage, it will be easier for you. If you're already married, you know that it's easy to forget some things. So it's good to keep this checklist as well, so that from time to time you go back and reassess the marriage, see how well it's going. Because sometimes when you forget and things slide, it makes the marriage a little bit unbalanced. And it does happen because life gets busy, other things take your attention. So it will be helpful that you keep this checklist somewhere, so that after every few years you go take a look at it and assess your marriage, see how things are going. If anything needs to be readjusted, you can adjust it so that you can enjoy your marriage. So let me quickly check on that link. Let's see how that link is going, and then we can move on from there. Yes. The link is here. And I'm just going to share it quickly, and then we can get into it. Let's see. The marriage foundation checklist. The things that we need to keep reminding ourselves on, so that we can always make sure that we are enjoying our marriage, or we are readjusting and refreshing. Okay, so the first item on the list is that we all need to get healthy. We all need to get healthy. If you're not married yet, you need to get healthy. And when we say get healthy, every human being is made up of several parts. We have our physical part, we have our spiritual part, we have our social connections, and our psychological aspect. When WHO is defining health, sometimes you may think that health is only physical. No, your brain health or your mental health is also important. And your mental health may be fine, but your social life may not be fine. So when we talk about being healthy, as a married person, you need to be healthy. And if you are preparing for marriage, you need to get healthy before you get married. A lot of people grew up in homes that maybe there was just a single parent home. You probably, if it's just your dad who raised you, you probably hate women and you don't even know about it. It's important that you sit down, examine your beliefs about women and all those kind of things. Get healthy psychologically. check your beliefs. What are the things that you believe in? And this is a good time for you to read marriage books. There are a lot of things that seem normal to you because nobody has confronted you about it, or you yourself haven't taken a good look at it. It is always said that people prepare for life, people prepare for their jobs, people prepare for school, people prepare for a sport, all kinds of things. But people don't really make the time to prepare for marriage. And in many places, marriage counseling is just like 6 months. And some places it's even shorter. People feel like marriage should come naturally. You should know how it is to be married. If you did not grow up in a home where there was a healthy marriage, maybe you did not grow up in your parents' home, or maybe your parents did not have a healthy marriage, you would know because as you grow up, these things become obvious to you when you're old enough to get married. You would know whether the home that you grew in, you had a good example of what marriage is. And that takes us back to the single parent thing. If you grew up in a single parent home, you definitely did not see how marriage is because the other partner was not there to model marriage for you. And we all know that we learn a lot by observing. Hello, Auntie Vivian. It's so nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. We all learn a lot by observing. So some of the things we pick up are subconscious. So if you grew up in a single parent home, you most likely do not know what healthy marriage looks like because there was only one parent. There were not two parents to model for you what a healthy marriage is. And if you grew up in a home that the marriage was not peaceful, it was a toxic marriage, or there was this power struggle, or there were inequalities, you did see marriage, but you didn't see marriage at its best. So if you realize that you grew up in a home like this, or you know that you haven't had the opportunity to observe anybody's healthy marriage, it's important that you start reading some marriage books. It's important that you go into counseling for longer because some of these things even affect the person that you choose. Your parents may not have been married, but maybe you were raised by your auntie or your uncle, and your auntie or your uncle was married and they had a stable marriage. That's a good example. Maybe you were raised by your grandparents. Both of your grandparents were in the home, they had a great marriage. That is also helpful. But if you are not lucky, or maybe your own parents had a good, healthy marriage, and you've always wanted a marriage like what your parents had, that's also a great example. But if you're not lucky enough to have this kind of example while you were growing up, because you would have picked up, whether you like it or not, you would have picked up a lot growing up subconsciously from what you saw. So if you realize that the example that you had was not a healthy one, it's time to start learning about marriage. It's time to start going for counseling. You should make it a point not to just go for the 6 months counseling, but to go for a longer one, a deeper one that will help you examine your attitudes towards marriage. Because sometimes some people from unhealthy homes, like homes that did not have healthy marriages, they'll go and marry the same kind of person because that's what they are used to. That's what was normal to them. And if you do not take the time to unlearn some of those bad behaviors, you will take those bad behaviors into your marriage. So make sure that whichever home you're coming from, whatever example that you had, it was a healthy one. And if it's not, take the steps to unlearn some of those things before you enter your own marriage. Otherwise, you will take the mistakes along with you. And for the married people, you know the home you came from. You are already married. You are not now going to change your mind to choose another partner. But it's important that whatever wrong attitudes that you came into marriage with, I always say that your parents may raise you for 18 years, but you will raise yourself after you've left your parents' house. So the things that you learned that you can now see that they are not good for you, it's time for you to unlearn it, to drop it. Teach yourself the healthier habits. Change your mindset. The Bible even admonishes us not to conform to the world, but to renew our mind with the word. So if you grew up with any unhealthy mindsets or unhealthy habits that you saw growing up, It's important that you get healthy. And getting healthy also means you need some great friendships in your life. No man is an island, and life requires that you have community. You should make sure that your job place is not the only place that you interact with people. You must have personal friends. Some of us are introverts, some people are extroverts. Whether you are an introvert or you're an extrovert may have several friends. An introvert may have few friends, like three very good friends, or two very good friends, or one best friend. One best friend is not very healthy. At least if you have one best friend and you have two other close friends, that's good. The number of friends is not the issue here. The issue is that you should have good friends, especially of the same sex. Married people, it's not advisable to have friends of the opposite sex. It's not healthy. Um, History has shown that it doesn't work out well. You cannot say that you're a guy and your best friend is a girl. It does not work. Most of the time, along the line, certain things change that are outside of your control. And then, even if nothing changes, there will always be suspicions between the two of you. Not that you suspect each other as friends, but other people will suspect you. And sometimes your partners may not be okay with it. So as you're making friends, make friends of the same sex. If you're an introvert, make sure that you're maintaining your two or three friendships that you have. And if you're an extrovert, make sure that the many friends that you have, there are some of them that are really close to you that you can tell them the truth, they can tell you the truth, you are accountable to. Because we all know that extroverts have so many friends, but many of them are not close friends. They are just surface friends. Make sure that those many friends that you have, there are some of them, a few of them that you can trust, a few of them that you're accountable to. Because if you're walking in this life alone, your life is not healthy. You become a burden to your partner because you don't have anybody else to share your life with. So you'd be wanting to take everything from your marriage. Your marriage cannot fulfill all your desires. Your marriage cannot fulfill all your needs. When you put all the pressure on your partner, it makes you a little burdensome. It puts a strain on the marriage. So make sure that you have your personal healthy social life. You have your personal group of friends that you can relate with, you can spend time with once in a while, you can interact with outside of your partner. And try to make sure they are of the same sex. We don't want to bring any suspicions and any unnecessary drama, because if you're of the opposite sex, things can change on you dramatically. Okay. So our first point was that get healthy before you get married. And if you're already married, fix those unhealthy mindsets that you brought into the marriage. Unlearn some of the things that you have come to realize that they are not good. Some people like to defend what they grew up with. They have come to realize that those things were not very helpful. Other homes did not have it like that. But they still want to defend it because they are attached to their family. They love their family members. It's not good to do that. Once you realize that something in your family was not healthy, it's important that you let it go. Don't defend it and impose it on your partner, because that way you're not helping anybody. So if you realize that certain attitudes were unhealthy from your family, from your family background, as much as you love your family of origin, you should also be open-minded and fair enough to know that if something was not healthy in your family, you will not carry it over to your new family or the family that you're forming with your partner. Let certain things that are unhealthy go so that your marriage can be healthier. Amen. Okay, so the next thing we'll talk about is if you're not already married, do not marry for love. Marry for purpose. And if you are already married, maybe you married for love, that's okay. But as you are married, you need to chase purpose or pursue purpose instead of love. Why are we saying this? Many a times, what we define as love may not be truly love. It may just be a feeling. And the feelings that you have towards somebody, the things that you feel, the emotions that you have towards somebody or towards your partner, they are not enough to sustain a marriage. In fact, studies have shown that if you and your partner are friends, as in, friendship does not develop on emotions. Friendship develops on shared interests, common interests, fairness, respect, mutuality, and all those kind of things. So once you take away that passionate, once you stop focusing on that passionate connection and you focus on that friendship, as in normal, respectful relationship and purpose. That way you can never go wrong because passion goes down, chemistry can dwindle. But if you are friends, as in the two of you develop actual connection, the two of you develop actual respectful coexistence and interaction. You are fair to each other. You have common interests. It's like you develop a relationship outside of the passion, as in I love you. I don't know what to do when I see you. If you develop a relationship outside of that, and then you focus on your purpose in life or the purpose of the two of you, both of you are focusing on your individual purpose and your collective purpose, because how can two work together unless they be agreed? If the two of you are not complementing each other or working on the same thing as a married couple, and you want to focus on love, it's not going to help. It's more important to focus on your purpose in life, what you believe God brought you in life to do, or the purpose of the marriage, what you know the two of you together can build. Instead of focusing on the love, instead of focusing on the romance. Romance is good, affection is good, but marriage is not always feeling lovey-dovey. Marriage is more to fulfill purpose, your own purpose as an individual and the collective purpose of the two of you in that marriage that you are in. If you focus on purpose and mutual friendship and understanding, it makes the marriage easier and more profitable. Love is an add-on. And the kind of love that we talk about, most of the time, it's not the kind of love that the Bible is talking about. It's more of butterflies, affection, and romance. Affection, romance, and butterflies do not make a marriage. Purpose and mutuality, friendship, respect, um, give and take, building each other up, that one sustains a marriage more. So if you're in the marriage and you realize that the romance is low, but your purpose is still high, you're doing good. It's important that you continue on that journey, because when you're doing the right thing, the romance and the love will come. Sister Elsie says romance is a bonus. Yes, I totally agree. The romance will come. When everything is going well, oh, naturally the romance will come. But when you keep chasing the romance, it's not going to help. You become distracted. Okay, so let's look at our third point. Our third point is that you need to remind yourself that life is not easy and that you need to be consistent and develop tenacity in working on your goals. Sometimes people feel like when you get married, everything should be fine, everything should work out. Mr. Biney, hello, nice to see you. People feel like when you get married, life should be easy, everything should work out, everything should be smooth. It's not like we're being pessimistic when we say that life is not easy, because of course life is not easy. If you need things to work out, you have to be consistent. You have to work at it. You have to put in the effort. If you don't put in the effort in achieving your goals, you will still not have life easy because you will not have those things that you want. If you keep encouraging your weaknesses, if you keep giving in to your bad habits, if you don't do the things that you have to do, you will not get the results that you need to get. Life is not easy. So you got to be consistent. You got to work hard. If you work hard doing the right things, the results will bring you peace. The results will bring you joy. The results will bring you what you need out of life. If you don't work hard and you sit around, you may get to your pension and realize that those dreams that you had, they are still lying there. They have not been achieved. So don't get married and be complacent. Don't get married and relax. You have to work hard. You have to be consistent. Don't start something and then in 6 months you just leave it alone. You have to keep working at it. And the fact that you make up your mind that life is not easy will help you to remember that when times are hard, you don't give up. You see, there is no marriage that is sweet from beginning to end. There are challenges. And when challenges come, and you remind yourself that life is not easy. And for us Christians, we don't have a problem. We know that no matter what happens, as long as we are holding on to God, God has already won the victory for us. But we have to go through it. We have to go through it. You don't have to run away from your challenges. The things that come to you, God has promised us. 1 Corinthians 10:13. He said that there is nothing that has happened to you that is not common to man. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you are able. When challenges come, you are not supposed to cave in. You're supposed to stand strong and look to God for help. Look to God for direction. Don't always look for God to solve your problems. God will not solve your problems. He will give you the strength. He alone can decide what to do. There are times He will save you. There are times He will give you the strength to go through it. And when you're going through any issue, it's not easy, but you have to stay strong. You have to have faith. You have to hold on. So when you get to a rough patch in your marriage, trust God and hold on. Trust God and know that things would change for the better and that you will come out victorious because Jesus has already won the battle for you. So when times are hard, that is not when to give up. If you want to give up, you will give up a million times. You need to be able to hold on and pray through. Unless of course you've prayed and God says it's time for you to move on. As for that, it's between you and God. But there are many things that will come. Challenges will come. It will not always be rosy. It will not always be easy. But you will always have God on your side. You will always have God giving you the strength. If only you will look to God, you will win every single battle. The last point I want to talk about tonight is financial independence. It's as a family, it is good that all your finances are together, right? But it's also great that both of you have the means to support yourselves. God forbid if one person should lose their job or if one person should die, God forbid, you should be able to live. Your life should not end just because your partner's life ended. Your life should not end because your partner lost their job. Both of you should not suffer if something happens and one partner cannot work. So it's important that you keep your financial independence. At the end of the day, we know for us Christians, we are aware that our source is not man and our source is not of ourselves. Our source is God. But let's throw this caution out there that make sure that you're managing your finances well. Make sure that you're financially literate And make sure that the finances that God gives into your hands, you manage it properly. Some people enjoy blowing cash a lot. And those people, they're usually married to people who like to save. If you find that you are in that situation and you are the person who likes to save, don't sit down and allow your partner to blow all your cash. Make sure that your voice is heard. Make sure that you're also contributing to slowing down the spending process so that you guys can save for the future and manage your finances properly. And it always helps if both of you can earn enough so that one person can take over even if the other person is not around. So tonight, this is where we're going to end this discussion. We're talking about the foundational marriage checklist, some of the things that you can always go back and check if they are working well. The first thing we said was get healthy and remain healthy in your marriage. And health is not only physical, it's emotional, it's psychological, it's social. Make sure you have healthy friendships, you have healthy community. You don't need 1,000 friends, but make sure that any number of friends that you have at least your 3 to 5 people that you can trust, that you can rely on. We also said that you should unlearn unhealthy behaviors that you may have picked up when you were growing up. And that is also part of the health of the marriage. We also said don't marry for love, marry for purpose, marry for friendship. If you are already married and you married for love, it's not too late to go back and focus on purpose or to divert your attention to purpose instead of passion or what we often call love. We say that as you go on, as you focus on purpose and mutual friendship, the romance is a bonus and that it will come. The third thing we said is that life is not easy. So, in the face of challenges, do not give up hope. Look unto God and hold on tight to Him. Look unto God for strength to overcome your challenges or to know exactly what to do in whatever situation that you're in. And the last thing that we said is that take care of your finances. The money that comes into your family, manage it well. Oh. You are not always strong to work for money. You need to save, you need to invest so that your future will be secure. And as much as possible, both of you need to be able to earn by yourselves as individuals and as a family. Because God forbid, if something happens to one person, it should not destroy the family. The other person should be able to carry the family in case one person is not available. So maintain your financial independence and maintain your financial health, so to speak. So this is where we're going to end today's discussion. God willing, next week, same time, 6 p.m. Central Time, we will be back to discuss another interesting topic. And so until we meet again, let's remember that it takes a good Christian to have a good Christian marriage. God bless your marriage. Bye-bye.